live workshop retreat going on in your area, and you got to be excited about it, aren't you, Tracy?
I am very excited about it. I can't wait to bring people here. This is where I am right now. I'm very lucky to live in this area. It's known as the Beaver Valley. This is actually a UNESCO World Heritage, what do they call it? Reserve. So it's a very, very special, beautiful, thousands of acres nature reserve. It's part of what's called the Niagara Escarpment, which is about 800 kilometers of, well, it's a gigantic cliff, I suppose, that runs north-south from Niagara Falls all the way up to Tobermory. It's the home of the Bruce Trail, which is kind of Canada's answer to the Adirondack Trail.
Right.
Um, and anyway, I decided to run this, what would otherwise have been a workshop. I wanted it to be more of a retreat kind of setting. So I've included some nature walk, forest bathing. It's fall here now, so the colors are absolutely spectacular. And the topic that I'm covering in this particular retreat is Bach flowers for expanding spiritual awareness. So, um, I mean, theoretically, any of the 38 flowers could have some kind of impact on your spiritual growth. That's sort of the idea of them. But there are 10 of them that I've identified that are really, kind of jet packs for spiritual development and for expanding this kind of awareness that so many people are looking for. And honestly, people are searching in all kinds of directions. I mean, things like plant medicine is huge right now. Um, a psychedelic assisted therapy is gigantic. I had no idea how big that is now. So I think people are really looking for these kind of experiences where they can have a taste of some sort of expanded experience of awareness.
Yes, that's so important to have that expanded awareness in so many ways. And you think about specifically the 10 types, who are the types of people that you would want to attend the workshop?
Well, I think in general, people who are interested in personal growth, people are interested in spirituality, and people who may tend to be, I want to say, high achievers, not necessarily type A personality people, but people who they feel a sense of mission in some way. They want to know what their purpose is, or they want to know how to be more impactful, or how to achieve more of this purpose-driven work that they're doing. And the answers to those kind of questions are often just outside of our reach in some way. We're looking to open up a greater flow of intuition, to have a greater capacity to trust our intuition and move on it. So, yeah, I want to introduce people to these flower essences, which are really just kind of frequencies in a bottle, right? Made from very pure source uh, source material for dealing or opening up things like seeing what's on the other side of the illusion of duality, right? The illusion of good and bad that we have, the black and white vision, where we're judging everything as soon as it comes into our field of vision or our perception. As I already said, people who want greater access to their intuitive abilities, because everybody has it, right? We're naturally endowed with a connection to a higher source. This is the whole idea of Bach flowers, Neil. Like, they were designed even 90 years ago when they were originated. They were designed as a healing tool, right? As healing agents, with the idea that if you have access to your higher self, you are immediately have all of the blueprints for healing. And so every kind of illness is originates in a blockage that somehow we're blocked from this pure stream of connection with our higher self. So Edward Bach identified 38 different flowers that help 38 different specific pathways of connection. And it occurred to me that you don't have to be sick to want a greater connection in some way, right? So like if you know that you're somebody who has trouble quieting the chatter of your mind, you need some help in that particular area, and there's a Bach flower for that. Or in terms of, having, I mean, everybody's got an ego, it's part of our healthy personality, but your ego has a very tight grip on your destiny and what it thinks you should be doing and what it thinks is important to you, which is not always what your higher self would wish for, right? So having a way of tempering the degree to which ego gets to control your life, that's available in a liquid frequency that you can take. So just looking at these flowers, these 10 flowers in particular that I've chosen, and helping people to feel into, where they want to have a more pure, a more clear connection with the voice of their higher self for direction in life. I think this is just going to be an incredibly impactful weekend.
It sounds like it definitely will be. And how's it structured, the breakdown for the workshop?
Well, the actual teaching is happening on Saturday and Sunday. Friday is kind of a welcome day where I'm hoping that people who come from far away will get a chance to really appreciate the stunning natural beauty here. As I've said, there are waterfalls, there are rock cliffs where people do rock climbing. So there are gorgeous places to walk, places to engage in forest bathing. Do you know about forest bathing? Do you know what that is?
No.
That's a very cool name that I think actually comes from a Japanese tradition of sort of bathing in the forest air, essentially, filling your lungs with that forest air, the pine, the cedar, the maple. Those are really, really healing and potent natural oils that are in the trees. So, like, if you just go for a hike in a nature reserve, essentially you're forest bathing. But to be intentionally immersing yourself in air which is imbued with these these I want to say volatile oils that exist in all of those trees, especially the evergreens, that has an incredibly healing um, feature, as well as, spiritually uplifting to be in places like that where you're climbing over the roots of all of these trees and, on beautiful pathways. And I mean, we're so lucky here. We have literally hundreds of kilometers of marked trails where people can walk, and you can look out over the cliff top at this gorgeous scenery. So Friday is kind of this day for really immersing in the natural beauty of the area and having a dinner all together. And then Saturday and Sunday are training days from 9:30 to 4:30, essentially, where I will be teaching about these particular flowers, of course, about the archetypes, about shadow alchemy, and helping people to have an absolutely transformative experience themselves on this weekend, and to go away with the kind of takeaway of understanding how to also use these remedies going forward to continue their spiritual growth.
And this is not your first ever workshop or rodeo. You've done them many
No,
times.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, in general, before I've done teaching workshops where I'm more teaching the methodology, and this will be much more of an immersive thing than I've done in the past. So I'm really looking forward um, to that inner work element of this particular retreat.
Yeah, I think it's very, very interesting when you talk about Bach flowers and how you have a specific blend of Bach flowers and alchemy to make this new technology. And what people were able to see from this specifically enough is that Bach Flowers does some of the work that we as human beings can't do on our own.
Exactly. And I was just reading a book that had a great quote about that, and I'm going to butcher it here, but just saying that there are some elements of this kind of work that, nature has designed us in a way that um, that we can't get at our inner wisdom without peeling away some layers. And that kind of work is often best done with some kind of helper or guide, which might be a person, and it might, in some other cases, be these flower essences, which really help us as we're going through this peeling away experience to um, to manage the things that come up along the way, to give us greater insight, to moderate our feelings so that it's not so scary to step into the next version of ourselves, which is that when I was talking about ego just a moment ago, right? Like ego does not want you to grow. Ego wants you to stay right where you are and kind of be the boss of your present circumstances, not step into something new and unknown. But if you want to grow, you have to go where where it doesn't feel completely comfortable. So these flowers are amazing for that work. And they work so, so differently than the things that I mentioned before, like mushrooms, like plant medicine, like microdosing, like hallucinogens, like psychedelics, It's a very different kind of experience because there's no drug experience involved. This is just a natural kind of aha that develops sometimes in a few minutes. Certainly they work very fast, but typically, as I've seen it in my clients, in 2 or 3 days, there's a kind of a real aha that just feels very organic. It's like, I always knew that. How come I didn't know that? It just feels sort of natural and real, and there's no side effect, there's no chemical issue
Right.
here, right? There's no difficulty of obtaining the things because they're so readily available and so gentle, and so you can't overdose on this kind of system and this kind of therapy. So it's a really beautiful thing that we have to use.
The brain is hard to control. It's not easy. And we as human beings go through so many thoughts. To have something when something goes wrong, something challenging, and you could use this in Bach flowers to help heal your brain or to enhance your brain. That's what you're going
For
to
sure.
teach on this in this workshop. It's so valuable with especially what is the date, Tracy, for this?
October 5th and 6th, 4th, 5th, and 6th. So
In the
Friday,
United
Saturday,
States, I
Sunday.
think it's World Mental Health Month, or US, coming up in October. So perfect timing,
It is perfect timing.
yeah, perfect timing for your workshop for sure. Where is the best place people can find information on you to sign up for the workshop? What's the best? How do you want people to
Uh,
contact you?
I guess the email would be the best thing, frankly. That's tracy@tracypoisner.com.
All right. Sounds fantastic. I think it's a great opportunity for our listeners and viewers to get away, have a great workshop, and have an expert who understands Bach flowers.